For today, thank you. The smiling clerk politely replied. No need to thank. I can explain to Lord Irina. It's my honor. Isina looking in a forward direction. I wonder if that is your property. He said, yes, it's just an old field. The new field has moved to the agricultural cropland. She said, please take me there to see. On the other hand, right now at the supermarket, there's clouds in the sky. Princess Gil breathed out tirelessly and said, we spent a whole day at the supermarket. Walk around all the shops. To be honest, I'm confused now. I forgot what we saw. Isina tried to ask Gil. Do I need to go to the clothing store and change another set? I see 2 of them aren't okay. Princess Gil refused to say no. This set is the most beautiful, looking up at the sky getting darker. Jenny said it's going to rain. Nicole agreed for an hour. Isina went and read the survey results. From a situation we learned at the supermarket today. Prices of goods commonly used in supermarkets. It's not very different from the factory. The number of items purchased in the supermarket is limited. May not be satisfied. You are out. Fragile goods. Not suitable for long-distance shipping. But air freight is high. Damage can also occur. If you want to buy it, I suggest you go directly to the factory. Their packing technique will be better. Thank you for listening, Isina. You go to the factory. It's to help me figure this out. Thank you, I'll think about it. Then she looked ahead and there was a colorful flower bath. The shark is so beautiful. I always like flowers, but gardeners don't know how to take care of flowers at all. Maybe I can get some gardeners there. Give it to your mother suddenly. The rain suddenly poured down the stream. Jenny asked anxiously why it was suddenly raining so heavily. Agina reminded me to find a place first. 4 people and run down the eaves of some store. Nicola is interested in asking people not to get wet. Sao. Jenny and Isina are not. Sao. But Princess Gil's a little bit of a struggle. My new clothes are a little wet. Nicola saw that and turned to look at her. I saw the princess's head with chopsticks. She raised her hand to help him. Waiting on her head to Gil touched, expressed Nicola. You are so good. Jenny stood to one side, looking so jealous, whispered. From small to large. Every time Gil sees the chef and the food he likes, they're all attracted away. It's annoying. Jenny noticed the name of the sign. She blushed up. I have a suggestion for that. Let's get a massage. When the princess heard that, her mouth cracked open. It's absolutely impossible to get a massage like that. Nicola amazingly asked the Sao downstream massage. Igina frowned and said she had a misunderstanding about massage. Princess Gil stuttered, oh. The smell came back. Gil also called for a massage. But I was reminded by my mother, Gil. My mother doesn't want to scold me. But I'm actually a princess of a country. How can you make such an indecent act? Sometimes it is difficult to explain the mother. I've just been so tired lately. Get a little massage, relax your mind and body. Maid calls for massage. To stand on the side of tension thinking, it's gone. Apparently, Princess Gil called me for a massage. I'm not going to be killed. Her mother seriously explained. Massage is normal. But my body is very sensitive to massage. Your expression. It's very different. Listen to me. Don't let anyone else know. Otherwise, people who don't know might think you're. The woman returned to the present. Princess Gil said to herself, they want to serve one day. There's nothing wrong with wanting to relax now. Why do I care about my weaknesses? It makes them lose interest. I try to ring. If you don't shout, you can think. She said happily that I was too stiff. I used to think girls weren't so good at massages. Now to the school. I want to let go of my previous beliefs and enjoy with everyone. Though, Jenny's still a little nervous, thinking there's something wrong. I just want to make fun of Gil, but she's kind of got a psychological phantom about it. I was standing outside the door and also heard the Queen's teaching. But being physically sensitive isn't your fault. She's been ashamed of this for so long. I want to help her. All 4 of them went into the massage parlor. The agent came out and asked everyone, "This is the first time people have come to SAO massage. What service do people want to use?" The first time we came here. I don't know what services there are. You can introduce us. Nikolai looked at the room and exclaimed, "No Tiger is a massage parlor opened by a young family. It looks so high." And Princess Gil was restless. "This place is different from La Sun's massage parlor. There's no need to touch the body. Lesbo worker-friendly sex shortage has essential oil massage, oil-free massage and traditional massage. The first 2 types of massages. It was invented by His Majesty. Our guests after trying it out. Very good review. If you hear that, scan the menu." Jenny looked at herself and said to herself, "The best way to solve Gil's problems is to make her scream out loud. Let her know that there's nothing to be ashamed of." But this alone can't be done. Everyone chooses the service in turn. Nicola said I wanted to choose my leg. Igina says I'm simple. Body massage is expressed by Jenny. I want a shoulder and body massage. My shoulder hurts after painting. There's only one left. Princess Gil hesitates. Forever a while, she blushed and decided I'd just go to room 8, Jenny. Blinking the flag with Gil's hand. She's kidding. She wants the most expensive Thai massage. Does Gil have SAO? You're not afraid. Like a hamster screaming SAO, is it possible? After everyone chooses, the staff will show you the way here. Let's change clothes first. Princess Gil went ahead and said, I can't wait. I'm ahead of everyone, hurry up. Jenny pulls Nun and Igina closer, whispering, Igina, I'd like to ask you two something. In the massage parlor, the staff massaged their feet and asked, Your leg is swollen. I walked a lot today. Nicola replied, Yes, your technique is very good. So comfortable. Princess Gil sitting on the bed. I saw the massage coming. I was afraid to say, Wait, come here. Girl breaks wrist, joint smiling expression. You asked for a Thai massage. I'll use essential oils to warm my hands first, so that guests do not get cold. You can take off your clothes and lie down. Smiling, she said in a sweat that she could wait for me. Slowly take off your shirt. In my heart, I remind myself to hold back. I can't hear your voice after that. Lie down on the bed and let the massage do his work. But when the agent gently touched her, Princess Gil moaned softly for an hour. The staff just put essential oil on her back. Your shoulders seem a little stiff. Princess Gil gently exclaimed, not wanting to. Her body trembled and flushed. The staff can't help but panic. Gil gasped as he tried to say, I said no. This time, but people, Igina. Jenny and Nicola looked at her. Everyone's expressions are wonderful. You blush with shame and cover your hands. People will surely think that I am a person who does not know how to control. Then out, the look on the faces of the three Kier was imagined by Gilra, and the three of them were having a good conversation. Gil, you seem to like it. That sound seems more relaxing. Let us try it together. Izina nodded in agreement. Well, much more comfortable. So they all lay down and asked the staff, "Please be a little stronger. I want to cry out too." "I can too." People are then massaged. He said. Gil was stunned. That's what raw people are. They don't think they are. Other people, SAO. So let's cry out together. Gil decided to let go of the enjoyment. After a while, they all returned to the living room. Jenny reached out with satisfaction and asked Gil, "The workmanship of this place is not bad. Will we come again next time?" Gil is excited to see that now. Jenny can't help but have fun. "That's great, Gil. I finally got over my illness." Outdoor, the rain was as heavy as a little lightning. Izina has a little concern expressed. "Looks like the storm is coming. I don't know if your majesty can handle it." This time in the office building. The pen kept asking how the farm was over there. A person reported some colored flowers spilled. As we clear the trench. So no arable land is flooded. A worried person said, "We can't contact the factory." Others are reassured. Maybe the line's flooded somewhere. The wind is not strong right now. I'll go to the factory site to have a look. Do you need to report to your majesty that the color has been spilled? Is he in the office upstairs? We can handle it ourselves. Upstairs, Ellie and Mina looked outside. The door is full of worry, saying this weather is scary. It's as dark as night. Save Feng Bao. This is just the beginning. The storm is not even at its worst. He asked if he had issued a dangerous storm warning. Ellie replied a few days ago. We published the paper and explained safety measures to the public. To inform them of the storm situation. Remind them to stock up on food and limit going out, if not necessary. 1 hour ago, we've issued a yellow alert for the bus. Railway and balloon suspended operation. That's a reminder. The city must also be careful about flooding. Labor disaster in the city. The agricultural sector must also be closely managed. Disaster prevention affects food prices. Ellie can nod, and I'll go now. When he finished the search, he could not help but sigh. The reaction this time was more serious than we thought. Mina comforted everyone who soon did a lot of work. Prepare and warn. Nothing's going to happen. Young master, don't worry. Reminds me of a time when I was wandering outside. I've had such a storm before. He was not old then. There is no body light now. It was almost hit by lightning. I've got nowhere to go. So he found a cave in the mountains and hid there. Continuous heavy rain for several days. The temperature dropped sharply. It's basically wet everywhere. It can't ignite a fire. Then the water flooded. I was forced into a small corner on the high. Fortunately, the storm has lessened. Before the water is fully in line. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had a chance to see the young master. Save Feng. When I heard the story, I suddenly hugged her. Call Mina. You hold my hand and you believe me. It's hard like this. The future will never happen again. Mina rests on your chest. I felt warm in my heart and said yes. Cover the owner. The school of security right now is being illuminated by the sun's soft glow. After the big storm yesterday, Eli was reporting the situation for exile. According to the report, the city was not affected. But the agricultural situation is seriously affected. There's a lot of vegetables in the waterlogged area. Corn and sugarcane because the hook is too high, so it is also blown down. I fell down and asked Ellie. The Ministry of Agriculture has dealt with it, right? Ellie was also quick to provide information. Yes, it was all processed last night. After determining the storm had passed, we've ordered reconstruction after the disaster. Now, the departments are all increasing CA working. The report also said that they soon completed and handed it over. Mina stood by the window. She looked down at the whole city and said, "The reaction rate of these parts is really fast. Now, external order seems to have been re-established. The big markets are open normally, and the buses are starting to work again. Saving money is not fun." I just sighed and replied, "It's just a facade." If the problems in the agricultural sector not handled properly, food prices in the city will rise. In the next few days, people take food first. Until then, normal people will be affected a lot. Because of the storm, radio communication is interrupted. That's why we didn't get any news. From the big cities, coastal 4 days. I don't know what the situation is there. After a rather depressing moment, let's take the initiative to encourage everyone. Instead of sitting here worrying, it's better to solve real problems. I'm going to patrol the farm for a bit. Let's see if we can help. What are you? Ellie, if you hear that quickly, we'll go with you. Mina replied, I have an appointment to go with you to the security department, so we can't go to Chung. Very quickly moved to the farm, where the trees are falling. The big tree was uprooted and fell, due to the impact of high winds during the storm. There's a farmer there, to see the cabbage plants floating on the water. I'm so worried. If the cabbage is picked first, it can also be sold. Just soak it in water like this, and it will be damaged. Others are also worried. Hurry up and call each other. Quickly use tree branches to fend these things up. Ellie and Ellie saw it all. Ellie is quite sad to say. This corn and sugarcane is broken a lot. Save the wind. Mine, even if it is broken, it can be used as sugar. But this idiot is a shame. Even if the stupid core doesn't grow, what can we do? Everyone in the neighborhood, the farmer just saw the wind, immediately say hello. Good morning, your majesty in the distance. Siley was also excited to see Ellie. It's nice to be greeted by everyone. It's a pleasure to say hello. Hello, everyone. People don't need to pay attention to me. Everybody just keep doing their job. Harvest and number of new varieties is important. He hurried to the door and excitedly said, Young master, Ellie. 2 people to patrol the land situation, SAO. Save Feng happily replied, yes, and Ellie was wondering if you were the opposite. Why are you here? Slay explained. One of my previous missions. It's about teaching farmers about agriculture, so it's relatively familiar to the agricultural sector. After our disaster, has actively registered for disaster relief work. In the agricultural sector now, we're in charge of this area. Listening to the wind asked Silay. What is the specific situation now? Sad Silay replied that it was worse than the situation in the report. Due to high temperature, so the water-soaked vegetables decompose very quickly. We are in a hurry to harvest. He pointed to the corn field and continued. There is also corn. This is the most damaged area. In corn-growing areas, they've been uprooted. Soak in water 4 days. Replanting cannot survive. We harvested them, but I don't know how to handle them. Save wind and soak calculation. Such fresh corn plants. Dry it all to make wood. It's not very realistic. How about using it as silage food? Ellie is bewildered. What is it? It's hard to understand what silage food is. I have a bright eye that explains. Silage food is a kind of raw food, obtained by fermenting raw green food, with humidity 65% to 75%, after shredding and an airtight condition. This silage method is not complicated, rich in nutrition and good preservation. It can be used as feed for cattle. You can also make food in times of war. Siley feels good after listening. Master Ha, this idea is great. Ellie is also excited. We've been buying a lot of horses lately. There's no need to worry about horse food now. And he continues to wonder, so what about other crops? We like to think of pre-harvest, and then grow some short-term vegetables to provide for the school security. He was quite careful to tell me. This silage method is actually possible. But remember, planning of potato and sweet potato growing areas. After all, we have to rely on this essential food to survive the winter. And vegetables, we have greenhouses, so don't worry too much. Silay finished listening very fresh. Yes, you are happy to say goodbye and run away. I'm going to tell them about Master's silage food. Let's go first. When Siley left, Ellie was impressed and praised the exile. The lack of people is really bad. Humbly replied. It is useless for me to benefit alone. To go through the crisis this time. It all depends on everyone's efforts. I look at the farmers who are working hard. Then follow up. These people didn't give up after the disaster. They worked hard and seriously. We're lucky to be able to help them. Later, maybe we'll ask each department to write a summary. Next time you have a similar situation, we can definitely do better. Ellie looked up at the wind with great affection and admiration. Young master is so cool. Then you two just left. Just chatting. Ellie told the exile to go back this time. The number of losses is already in our predictions. Young master, can you rest assured now? My eyes firmly replied. Now is not the time to be assured. The sea match, the way Lamb and Zahaza still don't know how to do it. Go like that. Check the documents in the treasury first. When they need it, we can help. Moving to the lush Sahara savanna. Leader of the steppe, Elsa is asking her guards about the damage. In addition to the loss of living supplies raw, and the cattle and the horses. The staff next door also reported the details. 7 is very heavy. More than 500 horses were lost. More than 700 sheep. 80 bees and about 20 adult horses. The leader was angry and asked back. How did the horse? You and your sheep are dying so much. What do these people look like? The guard next to him was sad. The storm blew all the slums away. They are afraid, so they stand in the rain and wind. And then it becomes like that. Leader of the Sahara tribe. After listening, I can only say with a sigh, that's it. Send all the dead cattle and sheep to the food street for a moment. I'll give you some documents. You can ask the chef, based on those materials, for processing into dried meats. Let's first count the damage to the tents. Then report back to me. I saw the guard standing there. Elsa wonders, hurry away, Sao is still standing there. The man replied, there is still one thing. Guard report details of the epidemic situation. A disease broke out in the night camp. The ladies say that, according to the medical books of Trongen, so this is the common flu. If you don't pay attention to control, it will spread LAN over a large area. Like the drugs we bought last time. It's almost used up. The tribal leader was worried when he heard it. Now, the tribe is in chaos. Whether immediately organize pharmaceutical transactions with Save, Your Majesty, is not practical. Then she ordered her subordinates to wait. You have investigated the situation of the other tribes, whether or not their knights are sick, right? The servant was quite surprised and said yes. How do you know that? Elsa the leader solemnly replied, how we know it doesn't matter. Give my orders. Quickly regulate the tribe. Don't be stingy about medicine. We need to help people recover as soon as possible. Go out and send a detective. Immediately rush to Chenggen City. I want to make a deal with Your Majesty. In the city of Lamb, the princess was very worried and asked her father. Why is it so serious? Not a few buildings have been damaged. His Majesty Calcium is also upset. The statistics in the city have been completed. Ports and farmland are a mess. It's like the boat has been smashed, and the rice fields were completely flooded. Autumn. We can get into a situation where there's no harvest. The princess was anxious to speak to Her Majesty. Father, it's not that there's still food in our warehouse. You can probably live through it, right? Your Majesty, please express sadness in reply. It's like food reserves, it's seeds for the next season. If we distribute it to the people now, next season will be great. If we don't distribute it, we may not survive this season. They looked out at the rubble. Sad to continue. What's even scarier is that the storm carried too many fish. If the sea is not cleaned up in time, there will be a plague outbreak. It's like cleaning these things requires physical strength. In addition to physical fitness, there must be food. Tulip gave way. We can soak those fish. Do you make food for storage? And by the way, stopping the epidemic, then we can borrow food from the surrounding cities. Your Majesty, it doesn't make sense. You said it was inappropriate. First, we can't eat all that much fish. Monday, hot and humid weather and no conditions for pickling. Third, the situation in neighboring towns. Estimates are the same as ours. Maybe there's no food left. The same is true for the school. Your Majesty, I've been following you since the storm. The radio is broken. We can't contact the city. The princess finished listening. Immediately make a decision. Father. So let me go to Chengen in person. Ask for help and escort the food back. Your Majesty, Kaisen doesn't see it very well. He asked his daughter again. I'm serious, the storm isn't over yet. You may encounter many dangers along the way. Princess Bellic is determined. Your father must stay and protect the city. Of course, you are the best person to go to school. I don't mind this kind of rain. I will definitely bring food back. His Majesty Kaisen saw that and could not stop him. You agree with me mildly. But please come back to tease the princess. Probably not by myself. I want to see your Majesty. The inert princess replied with a red face. Father, what time is it that you joke like that? I ask you to smile warmly. Hugging the girl and gently answering. The atmosphere was too tense. I just want to adjust the atmosphere a little bit. Then Kaisen, your Majesty, spoke to the princess. My little princess is grown up. I am worried about this old man. Unfortunately, the woman is also old. The princess replied firmly. My father is not old. Please stop the debate. All right, not old now. I'll send someone to arrange the car to Chengen City right away. Moving to the Kim family. Advent's subordinates are anxious to report. Half of the city of Jordan has collapsed. Sea water inundated most of the land. He took the report and read on. Kim also suffered 7 serious injuries. More than half the port has been destroyed. They're all asking us for help. From the news received these days review. All the towns along the coast were severely damaged. There's no food. Some people want to escape. Who ran towards the Tim Mo and Han dynasties. The Han says leave. It doesn't take a lot of response. Just like the towns before. They sent food to Jordan and killed Kim. The Lord began to report to His Majesty. All 9 coastal cities were in trouble, but we're still fighting on the front lines. There's not a lot of people and resources. The man next to Red agreed and continued. That's right, Your Majesty. Kai Bai to skip the rebuilding of a part of the city. Take the computer to a place that's less prone to natural disasters. After listening to the adventure, it is difficult to take it away. The nobles left the land. Send men to guard the land and rooms. I can still live as far away from home as ever. Concentration of residents. What do you use for a living if you lose your land? Adventure continues to refocus the land. Food must be redistributed. Looking at it saves time. It's actually a lot of human resources. Not even in place. Give to subordinates the plan. Tell them I wrote the solution last night. Everybody just follow. The deity is worried. Your Majesty got up to work in the middle of the night. Hold the solution in your hand. The two subordinates of the adventurer's face lit up. I just gave out charity porridge for the disabled. There is no labor capacity. Just use the rebuild. Let those who have the power to act work in exchange for wages and housing. Your Majesty, this is very good. The Red Cross is just as happy. It doesn't just give them a chance to survive. It's also possible to rebuild indigenous facilities. More important than, they built it themselves. There will be a greater sense of belonging. Not after the moment of joy. His eyes dropped and he spoke to the adventurer. That's right, Your Majesty. With people running back to the barracks, Timothy and Han Dynasty. Do we need to bring them back? Adventure is not necessary. Adventure explained, most people are not so helpless. Will not leave the homeland. So as long as they know their homeland has a way to live, they will naturally come back. I'm talking about people who want to go. Chasing is useless. Tell the Black Iron Man to hide in. To invade the Han Dynasty. You have to activate the Dark Knight. Glaring eyes. I want to see it. Can the wind hold up this time? To the capital city of Chong'an. Ellie was worried. Something happened and I was curious. Why did Ellie give the telegram? She hurriedly said to the ledges in telegram transmission. Ask about the princess. They said 5 days ago. The princess drove to the city's emergency school. Ellie continued. But we didn't see her. There was no news of her entering the city. To question again. Something happened on the way. Missed the time? Mina has another idea. It's impossible. If you miss the time, there must be news. Ellie was very worried. Maybe she wasn't kidnapped. Recently, because of the storm, there were many other people. Say not. It's a great way to get rid of Ellie's negative thoughts. Don't be silly. Nothing's going to happen. She's in the car with a bodyguard. I know someone with a big background. Normal people don't dare touch her at all. Even more so during the Great Depression. The Imperial Guard has imposed a complete curfew, even if there are refugees from elsewhere. I also caught it early. He turned to the ground and ordered her. Maybe she's like a little girl who said something halfway through her life. Missed the time. The route between the green and green. They just lost the way. Contact the police to find someone. To T, I happily agree. I'll go and arrange it. Go. Ellie worried for the safety of Convoluted. Go out to the hospital. In this situation, it's too dangerous. Mina gives a reason. When they left Green City, they received few supplies. Maybe it's a bad 7 this time. Unwilling to risk going out. It's useless to just say worry. We should still work and wait for them. Is there any other case? Ellie remembered Ra. She said a telegram came from Anji. Elsa's detective is pleading with us. Anji is one of the 9 major cities. Far from Hara, quite close. Ellie said in more detail. She wants us to back up more weapons. It is more medicinal, while other tribes are busy rescuing. Attack the enemy. She promised she'll give us more iron. Better quality. They carried 5,000 riders. This is real. This is Elsa. Fong told Ellie properly. I told them to take medicine and equipment directly from the city. Green quickly started. Mina's soft voice with save wind. It's also very serious in the Sahara. Otherwise, Elsa wouldn't have thought of this. The wind also agrees. We're fully prepared for natural disasters. But is it still 7? The lake is over there. If only she knew she was ready to fight. Prove we don't need to worry too much. Ellie said more. 9 into Big Key has reported its disaster situation. Coastal cities have been hit at different rates. The city on the mainland is very small. In the coastal city, it's only the lightest. Other cities are seriously damaged, where green is the base. The towns didn't have too many casualties. Write a few lines of statistics. You said you had a plan. Statistics of the number of supplies, the categories of cities. Aid to disaster-stricken cities. Route, railroads and cars give priority to the rescue. I will finish the plan today. Ellie, I'll give them the number. Ellie agrees, yes. He told Mina and Ellie. This is the first time I use this kind of rescue mechanism. I'm in charge of communications with 9 major cities. Monitor progress depending on the time of reporting. Tell them to submit a complete report. Mina, listen to your orders. Don't worry, Master, I'll take care of you. Mina continued. This time I was lucky enough to warn him. Otherwise the consequences dare not imagine. I heard the door is falling apart. The land is also flooded. Rescue effect is not good. A lot of people fled their homes. Ellie saw that and exclaimed, My God, it's so serious. Mina was bewildered. Before the end of the storm, the whole army warned the victims, the places where the family fled here. Convenient to report the disaster situation with them. The plan to take in the refugees was written by you. You forgot why. Ellie was embarrassed. I must have been so busy lately. Ellie is afraid of the foot of the beam to show off her achievements. Compared to their side, we don't have too many casualties. It's really bad. In fact, you really are our savior. He just laughed and said, It's not that ostentatious. Ellie then looked out the window at the whole city. You say more. The actuators work very well. Now just look outside. It's not like we've ever had a natural disaster. She looked at the people in line. She said, These people are SAO victims. Refugees into the city of Chang'an. Ellie was quite angry and told the young master. These people are considered royalty. Do the criminals need to arrest them? I'm just happy to talk about this again. Allowing refugees to enter the royal capital. It's also part of the refugee program. Why did you forget that too? Let's go down and have a look. Down the road into Chang'an. People in the city. Look at the refugees. They talked excitedly to each other. These people are SAO refugees. They're not from the Han dynasty. Of course, you didn't save the day. We have absolutely no carpet like them. Some people wonder again. I don't know what they're doing in the city. Fix the back road. He turned around and told Ellie and Mina. When you wrote the rescue plan, find the number of trains in each city. Although just clever, but when there's an emergency, it's not enough. Mina continued. So the young master told me to take in the refugees. It's possible to mobilize a group of young men into the city of Chang'an and repair railway. Then you said yes. Ellie, what did you think? Why do you agree? Among the privileged people who look quite comical. He's pointing everywhere. Wow, that house is so new. There's also a flower bath. Seeing the victims is kind of awesome. Ellie was irritated. These people are very difficult to identify. Maybe inside is a spy. Like the evil Kier. I just don't look like a good person. I was a little helpless to stop Ellie. People just have that kind of appearance. Keep talking to Ellie in the distance. I want to talk about spying.